Hi everyone, Osherove here, and I'm here at the Bouvet offices with Lejla Giske.
Yes.
Hi. Um, I got to meet Lejla at one of the meetings here, and she is, well, what is your role here at Bouvet?
In Bouvet, I'm a consultant, and I'm working with consultancy with enterprise architecture, communication, project management, and process management.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And one of the things that really intrigued me when I met you is that you had a lot of interesting thoughts about and learnings about communication between people.
Mm.
And that's something that I really care about myself. And one specific subject we discussed was how to listen to people.
Yes.
And you have a whole philosophy of, or whole stages of listening. So first of all, why is it important to learn how to listen?
It's important, good question. It's important because we need to understand other people. We need to be understood from other people in a way we want to be understood. We need the communication in our jobs, in our real life, to take some information which we need. So it's really the basic in our jobs, in our lives, and everywhere.
But doesn't everyone already know how to listen? I mean, we all have ears, we all know basically how to communicate with each other.
Not so aware listening like we usually do.
Uh-huh.
But there is some different levels of listening, and it's that kind of listening which you need to practice if you want to be able to do that.
And what would I gain by learning about those levels? What would I get from that?
You get a more efficient communication, a more efficient information you get from the dialogue between the conversation between two people or maybe group people. And then, well, you just come better.
Is it so? Before we get into the levels,
Yeah.
can you give it an example of something that happened to you where learning those skills of listening actually helped?
Yes. Well, if I'm comparing with my job situations, when that's given me many opportunities to have a good structure in meetings, good structure and dialogue in workshops, good dialogues with my colleagues. Well, those are very important things to me. And in my private life, it's very nice to have when I have discussion with my husband, for example, or with my children, for example. So it's useful in many areas.
Okay. So what are the levels of listening?
There are 3 levels of listening. The first level is listening while I'm at the same time thinking, well, have I been in this situation? Do I have a similar experience? And that's a level 1. That's a usual conversation which we have in normal life when we are not aware that there are some other levels of listening. And then we are missing those constructive dialogues when you leading the another person and you're getting the right answer and you are just giving the right question. You know what I'm in one, for example, in a meeting situation. If you want to solve some problems which we have on a table, and then I'm listening to that person and trying to solve that problem, but I'm very I'm just trying to solve my problems from my point of view, not from your point of view. Do you understand what I mean?
Well, I understand that this is usually what happens. That people try to solve their own problems.
Yes.
Okay.
But the clue is that you need to switch to level 2, and then you're trying to actively listening to the person. What does it mean? Well, you clean your mind from your thoughts. You're not thinking, oh, do I have the similar experience? You're just focusing on the dialogue and the words which are coming from the other person, and then you're trying to make a question which are reflecting the words from the other person. So you're giving him open questions. For example, if he wants them to give you a broad explanation of the problem, and when you want to close the explanation for the dialogue, for example, or some problem, then you give him a question which is closed question. You know, which when those people need to answer yes or no, for example, just short answer. There is a level 2, and there is a third level when you are.
Well, I'm not sure I understood level 2 actually.
No, okay.
Because level 2, you are more aware that you're listening.
Yes.
And you're aware that you're not listening to yourself. Or,
yes.
So you're actively listening,
yes,
rather than just passive listening on the regular level.
Right.
And how does the asking a question, a closed question, how is that relating to the fact that it's level 2?
Because you're not acting. You're focused on the person's problem. You're not focused on your problems. Or did you have a similar experience?
Yeah.
And that's the first. Some kind of a sign that you're on the right way. Okay. Then you're listening and focusing just on the focused person, and then when you hear one question coming out from a person, and then you think, okay, now what is the keywords here which I can use, so it can give me so I can go further in this process, so we can come further.
So it's a drill down process.
It's drill down the process.
Okay. Okay. So I think I just did that.
Oh yes, you did that right now.
So I asked an open question, another one, and then I asked a closed question. It's a drill down process.
Yes, good.
And you answered
good
yes.
Point. Yeah.
Interesting.
Very good.
Okay.
So now you learned what is the level 2.
Jag lärde.
Du lärde.
Okay, so that's the second level where
yes,
you're actively, if I understand correctly, you're actively using your questions to basically interrogate.
Yes.
Okay, so what's the third level?
The third level is then when I'm observing your body language at the same time,
yeah.
while I'm listening to you on a level 2.
Okay, so that's an extra layer that you listen to.
Meta
level.
Yeah.
So you listen to their body language or your body language?
I'm listening to your body language, not my language, but I'm trying to imitating you. You know, when you are changing your position, then I change mine, for example.
Mirroring.
Mirroring. Yes.
Why is that important?
It's important that I'm trying to follow with you.
So if someone stands up, you stand up.
I'm trying to get to put myself in your context. Okay.
Okay. So if someone stands like this, you also stand like this, or?
So I can try to stand like.
But isn't that more of a closed position where you want to say less things when you're like that?
I can maybe change the sitting position in this one, and then maybe you are coming.
Yeah, a lot of times I see people sitting next to each other and they copy each other without knowing it. Okay. And so this helps the flow of the conversation.
Helps the flow of the conversation. And maybe I'm just suddenly seeing that you're red in your face, and I'm saying, oh, and I can tell you, well, I noticed that you became a little bit red in your face.
Yes.
What's happening with you now? What did you when you're talking about that topic? What are they actually? What is it egentlig? You know, what it's indeed. What's happening with you? What does it mean? The words which it is coming out now.
Okay.
So it helps.
It helps.
Mm.
So that's the third level. So
It's modeled in a dialogue when you are sitting with a person and it's just you and him or her.
And so it feels to me it's more like a layer of something extra that you notice. Is there something else after that? I mean, those are the three levels. Is that you listen and you actively interrogate the person.
Yes.
But you also pay attention to their body language, and then you try to flow with their body language.
Yes.
That's it. I mean, it feels very simplistic.
It's not simplistic because you need to use yourself and your intuition too.
Yeah.
You know,
intuition is not simple. I agree.
Simple, agree.
I agree.
So it's some kind of you need to use your energy, your intuition, and it takes a lot of energy from you too to put myself in your context. You know.
Yeah.
Just to trying to. Trying to understand each other.
How do you learn about body language? I mean, where did you learn about maybe, or is there any interesting tips or tricks that you want to tell about body language?
Body language, well, I didn't read some special books about that, you know, but I was always it was always interesting topic for me, or interesting experience for me, just to observe other people and what's happening, what they do this, when they do this. It's some kind of energy and contact between people.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any?
I just feel with my body, and I don't know. I can't explain. Just weird feeling.
Interesting. You can't. How can you teach something you can't explain? Well, if you want, let's say you're teaching architects and team leaders, how do you transfer this unknowable feeling so that they can sense it as well?
Well, by experience.
Okay. So how do you get them to experience it?
Well, we can talk about if you and me are sitting right now.
Yeah.
And I'm talking, telling you, well, when you said that to me, and you just move your body like this, what's happened with you? Why did you have to move yourself? And then you will maybe see, well, it was some uncomfortable feeling in my body, so I just need to move myself.
Yeah.
There is.
I noticed that when I'm switching between modes of thoughts, I usually change the body language a bit as well. So you actively talk to them a lot, or do you follow them at the team meeting, and then you say, I noticed at the meeting you did X, Y, Z. Maybe next time try to do something else.
It depends who I'm talking to. It depends on the situation. Well, it depends what kind of problem I have. You know, it's not always that you can tell to a person, well, I noticed that you changed your sitting position. Well, why did you do that? It's not. I can tell you to some close person, for example, or if it's really a situation when I'm coaching somebody, and then I can tell the person, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So coaching is, I guess that's what I'm driving at. Is do you get to coach people on their body language? Yeah,
you can do that by doing them aware of their body language.
Do you tape them?
Yeah, I can tape them.
That's a good idea. We're taping us. So.
We're taping us now.
Okay, one last interesting question, I hope.
Okay.
Do you have any kind of war story, something that happened that is that did not maybe end well, that we can learn from, either your experience or you've seen someone else experience it, in relating to any of these matters? Something horrible that happened, not like Holocaust horrible, but you know, like Project Horrible.
Okay, good. Well, in the last week I had a workshop with a group. There was 12 people there, and thought, you know, if we have an open discussion, so it's gonna come many good ideas here, and then we can make some good job from that. But there are a couple of people which are really people with strong meanings, and with which are able to disrupt the whole discussion.
Strong personalities.
Strong personalities, and those groups it's some kind of discussion that wants them to talk about the things they didn't want to do, and then usually don't want to do that because they don't like to share their knowledge, because they're afraid that they're gonna lose their positions. And then when they suddenly began to do that, it was very uncomfortable. They became a little bit aggressive.
Norwegians being aggressive?
Yeah, now we are talking about North Norway, and it's completely different mentality from South Norway.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and then one of those telling to me, well, you are consultants, why are you not telling, what is the reason that you are not telling this to me? Why I need to reflect about that self? It's very frustrating. And I'm just begin questioning him. What is the frustrating? Why, you know? And then he started. What is the frustrating? What are you doing when you're reflecting about those people? When I'm doing that. Well, what is the better that you are reflecting about those problems, or if you want me to come on to telling you about that, and then maybe you're not gonna understand it the same way when you're reflecting about those problems. And then just he sat down and he said, maybe you are right. So that was a situation when I told myself it was nice to listen to a level, second level, and just to observe him that he is really upset by the situation, and upset that he need to go through the learning process when we are upset, and we don't know how to do that, and suddenly he understood that it's really the way that he need to go through to learn something.
So I just realized is that you specifically didn't want to say anything, you just wanted to reflect.
Yes.
So it's always about this direction instead of you saying something. So listening is an active thing in that you're actively trying not to answer.
Yes.
And I just realized that. Is that listening is, it's not like you listen sometimes, but you're using listening as a device for discovery.
Yes.
So by not telling them any answers, you're expecting them to get the answers themselves.
Right.
And that's very frustrating.
And very frustrating, yeah.
How do you...
Sometimes it's very frustrating, but if some people takes it's like, what? This is fun. Let's learn something new. Let's do something new, and let us come up with many good ideas and learn us about something new. You know.
But
it's different from people from person to person.
I'm wondering if there is. I'm pretty sure I would be annoyed if someone just kept asking me, and I would have to commit to agree that that I will know in advance that this is not going to be a conversation, but more almost a monologue. But do people know in advance that this is what's going to happen, or do you explain it to them?
I explain what we are going to do. I need to explain what we are going through, because they need to understand. Prepare. They need to be prepared. But those people, you know, they are not used to talk about. They are not used to share knowledge. They're hiding things from each other, and then when they suddenly come in a situation when they really have to do that, it was really annoying to them.
So you're teaching this to technical people most of the
Mm.
time. Technical people, especially people like architects, they usually feel like they are the one that have to give answers to everyone else. And you're also planning, if I understand correctly, to also be part of a course that teaches listening skills to architects. We might be opening that to the public, we're not sure yet. So, do you think it will be easy to teach architects to listen instead of speak?
No.
Okay.
Well, when they understand the value of the listening,
Yeah.
then I'm sure that they're going to do that.
They have to understand that there is a
But
value.
not just listening, you know, don't misunderstand me. It was example which I described that they were really had, there is a useful situation for me just listening, because he was so aggressive that when I'm listening to you, then I solved that the problem. It was a problem. It was a situation which is really uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
Then I could the answer on the same way, you know, and it could be a conflict. But you know, I told myself, now you are listening, Lejla, and you are just giving him a question. Then he reflects, and then he did that, and that was some kind of good. It was.
So if he would not accept to reflect, it would just continue to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, uncomfortable.
So it was more a bit of a gamble.
Yeah, that was some kind of gamble. I gambled it, but well, you know,
Yeah.
gambling.
Yeah, 50-50.
50-50.
Either yes or no.
Oh.
50-50. So it's very much like a psychologist.
Well, it's not on the same level like psychologists.
Well, not the same level, but it's more like, well, how do you feel about that? And why do you think that is? And what?
Not about
Don't you think so?
feelings. It's more cognitive thought. You know, it's we are talking about and well, now you know what I'm talking. Psychologists talking about feelings.
Yes.
Well, and they don't have to solve the problems. They can talk about feelings very long, but in a coaching there is a different approach. It's the opposite approach. We are committing us to the people that we are going to solve the problem.
Okay.
And that's we are talking about solving problem whole time until it's solved. You see the difference?
I'm not sure.
No, the psychologist.
So you're trying to solve the problem versus
commit,
not
They don't commit to each
solve
other.
the problem.
So it's some kind of platform for conversation.
Yes.
Which is different, completely different than when we are coaching. In a coaching.
I understand. Okay, so it's psychology with a goal, in a way.
In a way.
Because a lot of
Because I need to understand
Yeah.
the people from the psychologist's point of
Yeah,
view. But
everything is
it's-
people
it's
problems.
Mine, it's mine. It's useful to me, not to that person.
It's useful to you, not to
Yeah.
that person.
Yeah, it's useful for me because then I know what to do in
Yeah, well, but it should be useful to that
it
person.
should be useful to that person, sure.
Okay. Okay. Any last thought? Any finishing sentence for the viewing audience?
Well, maybe if they're interested in making, maybe they can take contact with us, interested in more in practicing, for example, so we can make a practice.
Maybe. Yeah. I'll just put a link with maybe your email, or if they're interested. You have a blog or something like that?
No, I don't have a blog.
Okay.
I have
Time to
small
create a
children.
blog.
Yeah.
I have 3 small children.
Yeah. Okay. No excuses.
No
you have
excuses.
three.
No excuses. But okay, I'll put a link to your email. If people want to ask you a question or anything, they can just do it. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So Lejla, thank you very much.
You're
It's been a
welcome.
pleasure.
Yeah, you too.
And I don't know. We'll just continue doing this. When I find interesting people, we'll just talk to them and see what happens. So see you next time on whatever this is.